The sun was setting over the city of Uruk, the largest and most powerful city in Sumer. Sumer was a civilization that emerged in Mesopotamia, the land between the rivers Tigris and Euphrates, around the 4th millennium BCE. It is often considered the world's first country, as it had a centralized government, a written language, a legal system, and a complex social structure. Uruk was ruled by a king named Gilgamesh, who was also a legendary hero and the protagonist of the world's oldest epic poem. Gilgamesh was a brave and strong warrior, but he was also arrogant and oppressive. He forced his people to work hard to build the city walls and the magnificent temple of Inanna, the goddess of love and war. He also took any woman he desired, regardless of their marital status or consent. One day, a man emerged. His name was Enkidu, and he was a wild man who lived in the forest with the animals. He had long hair and a hairy body, and he knew nothing of civilization. One day, a hunter saw Enkidu at a watering hole and was terrified by his appearance. He ran back to Uruk and told Gilgamesh about the wild man. Gilgamesh decided to send a prostitute named Shamhat to seduce Enkidu and bring him to the city. He thought that by making Enkidu civilized, he would weaken him and make him his servant. Shamhat went to the forest and found Enkidu at the watering hole. She offered herself to him, and he was curious and attracted by her. He lay with her for 6 days and 7 nights, and in that time he learned to speak and to eat bread and drink wine. He also lost his bond with the animals, who fled from him in fear. Shamhat told Enkidu about Gilgamesh and his tyranny, and Enkidu was enraged. He decided to go to Uruk and confront the king. He followed Shamhat to the city, where he saw the people and the buildings for the first time. He was amazed and bewildered by the sight, but he did not forget his mission. He arrived at the temple of Inanna, where Gilgamesh was about to enter the bridal chamber with a new bride. Enkidu blocked his way and challenged him to a fight. The two men wrestled for a long time, and neither could overpower the other. They were evenly matched in strength and skill, and they began to respect each other. They stopped fighting and embraced as friends. Gilgamesh was impressed by Enkidu and invited him to be his companion. Enkidu agreed, and the two became inseparable. They went on many adventures together, such as slaying a monstrous giant named Humbaba, who guarded the cedar forest, and killing the bull of heaven, who was sent by Inanna to punish Gilgamesh for rejecting her advances. Through their friendship, Gilgamesh became a better king and a better person. He learned to care for his people and to appreciate life. Enkidu also became more civilized and more human. He learned to love and to fear death. However, their happiness was not to last. They inflicted Enkidu with a fatal illness, and he suffered for 12 days before he died. Gilgamesh was heartbroken and inconsolable. He could not accept the death of his friend, and he decided to seek the secret of immortality. He left Uruk and wandered the world, looking for a man named Utnapishtim, who was the only mortal who had ever been granted eternal life by the gods. He had survived a great flood that had wiped out humanity, and he had been rewarded with immortality and a place beyond the sea. Gilgamesh faced many dangers and hardships on his quest, such as crossing a mountain range guarded by scorpion men, passing through a tunnel of darkness, and sailing across the waters of death. He finally reached the island of Utnapishtim, who told him his story and the reason for the flood. He also told him that there was no way to escape death, and that he should return to Uruk and enjoy the life he had. Gilgamesh was not satisfied, and he asked Utnapishtim that there was any way to obtain immortality. Utnapishtim told him of a plant that grew at the bottom of the sea, that could restore youth to anyone who ate it. Gilgamesh tied stones to his feet and dove into the water. He found the plant and brought it to the surface. He was overjoyed and decided to take it back to Uruk and share it with his people. However, on his way back, he stopped by a spring to rest and bathe. He left the plant on the shore And the snake came and ate it. The snake shed its skin and became young again. While the plant was gone, Gilgamesh was devastated and realized that he had lost his only chance of immortality. He wept and lamented his fate. He continued his journey back to Uruk, where he was welcomed by his people. He looked at the city and its walls, and he felt a surge of pride and gratitude. He realized that he had accomplished many great things in his life, and that his deeds and his name would live on after his death. He also realized that he had a duty to his people, and that he should rule them wisely and kindly. He accepted his mortality and found peace in his heart. He wrote down his story on clay tablets and stored them in the library of Uruk, hoping that future generations would read them and learn from them. He died peacefully in his bed, surrounded by his family and friends. He was buried with honor and respect, and his people mourned him for a long time. He was Gilgamesh, the king of Uruk, the hero of Sumer, the world's first country.